That should be recording, if we're lucky. Let me get by here. All right. Music you guys have been hearing in the background, this is it.
You turned it off.
Yeah. Trying to make it round, you know.
What happened? You turned it off.
I'll cut it back on.
It takes a few minutes.
It takes a few minutes.
I had it on for you.
Yeah, you had it on when I went to hit the red button. My finger, fat fingers hit the wrong, the corner goes on. They'll come back up.
Okay,
Anyway,
hopefully this is, okay, let's let, one more thing can go wrong and then you should be good.
exactly.
Two. So go ahead and trip or something. And then we can laugh and then we'll be over it.
And then we'll be over it.
You girls
Okay.
like my classroom? It's
Yes.
hot.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
It's hot and it's full of crap.
That's
I have a
what
lot
I'm
of
saying.
stuff.
But that's what I was telling Jade. She'd love to stay down here. If it gets below 80 degrees in mine, she wants to put a jacket on.
Oh my goodness. It's coming on, I can see it blinking.
Yeah.
If you guys are really, really good for him, I have a little something to give you.
All right.
Okay, so we're gonna participate, we're gonna be not silly, but I need you to participate, okay? So you gotta talk some.
Yep.
Oh,
What you got?
How is the camera not going to see us when we do the experiment?
Because
Because I've got the camera so it ends right here. So you can just walk behind Carnell over here.
I think
If you want to.
Well,
you can just ask her to
Well,
get up, or you can sit in this seat, honey,
yeah.
if you want.
Okay.
This is her stuff. Y'all
So I do this right now. Hit enter from here.
Camera, Mr. Newman.
Could you
Walk by
Comes
it.
through.
Oh. Okay. Go ahead. Got it blocked. So now I only see my hairy hand.
have you on TV or something? Don't work anymore.
Says that's gonna work.
Yeah,
Okay. Hit status play. Up, down, left, right.
You have to hit your mouse. You remember with your pen?
Oh, okay.
I like this dance.
That's right. Gotta use this pen. As you guys can tell, I only used one of these once.
Yeah. And that was a week ago,
Training.
so. Turn the volume up on the side, Mr. Newman, on the side. Top button. Y'all can sing?
Because you know I'm all about that bass, no acid. I'm all about that bass, no acid. I'm all about that bass, no acid. I'm all about that bass, I'm gonna do the bass. You're outrageous to react. Stoichiometry, yeah, that's where it's at. And it'll tell you to prepare a bass before you start that dress and drop. Yeah, my love tech, she told me don't worry about your eyes. Cause if acid gets in, we can fix it without the light. That always know I love me, my stomach and all the things it dissolves. But my bile keeps it from meeting my intestine walls. Because you know I'm all about that bass, no acid. I'm all about that bass, no acid. I'm all about that bass, no acid. I'm all about that bass, because you know I'm all about that bass, no acid. I'm all about that bass, no acid. I'm all about that bass, no acid. I'm all about that bass,
Hey musical scientists, welcome to my second channel. Looks just like the other one.
That's the chemist who has parodies on almost any song you can think of. That's how he teaches his classes. Unfortunately, not me. Okay. we talked about yesterday acids and bases, neutral. It's right in the middle. That's where your body wants to be. Mahogany, you made that yesterday, Sean. Number 7 is it. Number 7 on the scale of 1 to 14, right in the middle. Okay. That's where your body wants to be. Distilled water is neutral. Whenever anything happens in your body, brings it back to neutral. If you have too much acid, talking about the bicarbonate, that's a base. Brings it back to the middle. Got too much base in your body, acid kicks in, body brings it back to the middle. Nature loves balances. A couple facts about acids. Who can tell me the first one? Mahogany?
Taste. What is that?
Tastes sour.
Taste sour. Less than pH of 7. Most foods. And what's the last one?
It's corrosive and causes rust. Right now, let's focus on the taste sour. A couple of your classmates love Sour Patch Kids. Remember yesterday when I was talking to Jordan about how they make those sour? What do they do? What do they use?
Acid.
Yeah, what kind of acid?
Sour stuff. Sugar.
They use sugar. You're close. They use citric acid. Lemon juice, orange juice. That's what makes all those foods taste sour. All the candies taste sour. Now, we talked about the lesson pH of 7. Now, most foods. Mahogany is nice enough to make me a chart. Look at that. You got beef, cheese, fish. You can add chicken to it. Almost all of your proteins are an acid. Almost all of your green vegetables. Everybody talks about balanced diet, right? Every meal you gotta have something green, gotta have a protein, gotta have a starch. Almost all of your green vegetables are what they call alkaline, which is base. Now, the reason I put these in the middle, apples, oranges, and bananas in the middle, they're actually acids. But they're good for you to eat because in your body, they actually help you maintain that balance, the pH balance. They almost act like a base, even though as soon as you find out when you dip it, it's going to be an acid. Lemon juice is going to be an acid.
So in order to keep your pH balance right, you have to eat that stuff.
Exactly. In order to keep your pH balance, you got to eat that stuff. Okay. Kale is considered, I put that on the list because that's considered a superfood. In other words, there's so many nutrients in kale. A lot of people don't like it because it tastes bitter, which I'm about to show you why. But kale is a superfood. Now, if you eat it like I do, with a bunch of honey mustard dressing, it sort of neutralizes a good part of it for you. But still, it's superfood, all kinds of nutrients. That's the base. Okay? Tastes bitter. Can you guys name anything that tastes bitter? Or can you describe it? Easy to describe what sour is. Can you describe bitter?
No.
Kiwi.
No taste to it?
No. How about salt?
Has too much
And-
taste to it.
And lemon juice like that. That lemon juice.
Yeah, lemon juice is
Lemon
right in the middle. A lot of people think it has a bitter taste. Whereas if they taste like a grapefruit juice, they know that's sour. Now, the other thing that are bases, see, just the opposite of what we have for acids. Most of your soaps, talked about yesterday, my grandmother used to make lye soap. Lye soap is way over here on the scale. If you do it wrong, it's very dangerous. But all the soaps, dishwashing liquids, if you fill them, they're real slick, right? That's another way to tell a base from a acid.
Bleach.
Yeah, bleach is a very strong base. Okay. Caustic, what's caustic mean? Don't read that, tell me what you think caustic means.
It causes a sunburn.
So that's why I said don't read it. It says cause burns like a sunburn. But see the difference we talked about between acids and bases, we talked about yesterday, rust. Acids cause things just to go away a little bit. They rust. They eventually go away.
Oh, like my example of your motorcycle, for instance.
Yeah, like example, motorcycle. Brought up bad memories of my brother leaving the frame outside and getting rusty. Yeah. That's an example of corrosion that's caused by acid. What happens with bases, if you put like pure lye on you, you'll burn your skin. It'll look just like a sunburn. It'll be red, it'll be hot to the touch, and very painful. That's the biggest difference between the two. And one thing I want to point out to you guys, that's a pH, the acids and bases pH strip. That's talking about sour taste. Now, the reason they call it pH, it has to do with hydrogen. We don't need to know that too much, but I just want to point it out that an acid has more hydrogen than it needs, so it gives it up. A base doesn't have as many as it needs, so it takes it in. That's how they neutralize each other out. Like when you talk about bicarbonate protecting your stomach, hydrochloric acid in your stomach, very strong. Bicarbonate's a base, they neutralize each other out. So I said that's not anything that you need to know for what we're doing, but it's just a good, oh by the way. If you look down here, you see some things that are acids. Batteries. Remember what happened when I told you guys I took my dad's battery out of his boat to move for him? I don't think you were in there for that. And I held the battery against my blue jeans, and I was walking with it, and it was leaking battery. My blue jeans started going away. Luckily, I didn't get anything on my skin. The batteries, that's why they call it battery acid. That's why all batteries, if you could break it up and dip it, be a very strong, almost a 0 to 1 on the scale. That's just a balancing again. If you look at all these are just indicators, little symbols, that if something's on top, equal amounts on bottom. If you eat something that's a strong acid, your body's going to bring it back. And again, this isn't technically about health, but I like to make it about health because that's what you guys need to know about it. You don't need to know about battery acid. You need to know about balanced diets. And we were talking a couple days ago about diabetes. What happens when you eat a lot of sugar?
You become diabetic.
No, people can become diabetic, but when they eat a lot of sugar, what happens? So there's, well, even for like me, I'm not diabetic. If I eat a lot of sugar, my body produces what?
Insulin.
Say it again. Insulin. Brings you back to the middle. Diabetics don't have insulin. They have to take insulin shots. So if they eat a lot of sugar, their body stays over on the acid side. That's why you see special candies and special diets for diabetics. So they don't have to worry about it. And they eat so much food, then they have to go back and take insulin shots or glucophage, one of the other medicines for them.
Can diabetics eat butterscotch?
There's actually a butterscotch made for diabetics.
I love butterscotch.
Yep. But again, that goes back to all things in moderation. Okay, who wants to come up here and see where we fall on the pH scale? All you gotta do is take one of the litmus papers, see what color it turns. Now I'll tell you what these are. That's vinegar. That's pure lemon juice. These two and that one, figure out where they are on the scale and see if you might be able to figure out what they are.
Can I do it?
Yeah. You can do it. All you gotta do is pick up one of the litmus papers and dip it.
Dip it in what?
Go back to our scale.
Anyone?
Dip it in the liquid. Any of them. Pick one of them. Yeah, did you dip it in there? Does that have to be much? No. What color is that turning? Okay, find it on the scale. Match it up as close as you can. Where is it?
Right here.
How about go with that one? Yeah, between those two. So is that an acid or a base? It's an acid. Exactly. It's lemon juice. And it's about halfway down the scale. 0 to 6.9 or 7. That is about a 4. So it's halfway down. Who wants to try one?
I will.
Okay, come on up, Jay. She did that one with the lemon juice. Do one other to find out. Yeah. It's got litmus paper. Just a damn stuff.
I smell it.
Yeah.
That's how some people must.
Yeah.
Vinegar?
No.
Salt.
There you go. See where it falls on the scale. Now, salt water, it's not very strong salt. Salt, so it's diluted. So about between 7 and 8, so it's a base. Now talk about dilution, I almost gave that away. If something's a very strong base or very strong acid, what's it mean when you dilute it? I know you know the answer, you said it the other day.
Change it up.
Hmm?
Do you change it up?
Change it up how?
Like making it different from what it was?
Right, so say you put too much salt, you're making pasta, you put too much salt in there. Just made you pucker right up. Okay. How do you dilute it?
You add water to it.
There you go, you add water to it. It brings it back to the middle. That's dilution. Just like you guys know, one thing I love more than motorcycles is to cook. Sometimes I put too much spice in there, not for me, but for my wife. And kids have too much spice. So I don't throw it away. I put something in like honey or brown sugar. And that dilutes the spice, so it's edible for everyone. But yeah, if you got anything that's too strong, that's usually what they use. Like, if you got something that's 1 on the acid scale and 14 on the base side, okay, what's right in the middle? 7. Can you mix those? Put back neutral?
No.
Why not? You're right, but why not? See, in math, you say, okay, 1 and 14 in the middle, 7. But you're right, you can't do that all the time. I'll tell you why. Vinegar and baking soda. Vinegar's an acid. Baking soda is a mild base. Have you ever seen one of those volcanoes in science class? Like Miss Smith made one. Some guys might have been in her class when she made that volcano. How did they make those volcanoes explode?
Putting acid in it.
They put vinegar in there, put some food coloring, put some other stuff.
And some Mentos.
Well, Mentos. She uses Mentos, which is carbonation. Carbonation, like in soda, is a base. That's bicarbonate. But what they use at science fairs, they got the vinegar, they got the coloring in there. Sometimes they put some gunk in there to make it look real thick. And when they get ready to explode, they take a tablespoon of baking soda and put it in there. The baking soda is only about 8 on the scale. So Cardella is exactly right. Just because something is 1 doesn't mean you can add something way over here and bring it back to the middle. Because if you blow up your laboratory in school, it affects your grade. So when you're home mixing stuff around, I've seen people do this in garages, mixing bleach and other stuff around, trying to make something strong to clean. You may want to read the instructions first. Like I use a lot of bleach, a lot of what's called navel jelly when I'm cleaning parts and stuff for my bikes. But you can't mix that with other stuff. Like I can't clean my battery terminals with it. I can clean my battery terminals with baking soda. Battery terminals are where you put the cables on top of the battery, just like a flashlight. Now I can clean the battery acid off. Baking soda is what I use. That's fine. But if I was cleaning it with other stuff, I couldn't do that. So you have to know what you're doing. Any questions so far?
How's your pH scale gonna read if you eat like candy?
Candy? Candy is normally on the acid side because they use citric acid in it. for most candy. They also use nitrates, which is just a fancy preservative word, so it can sit on the shelf for a while. So most time when you eat a lot of candy, it pushes you to the acid side, which is why diabetics can't eat a lot of sugar. It's just like everybody talks about salt, and in the middle of the list that mahogany had was bananas. Your body needs salt and needs potassium. That's how your cells work. That's the energy for your cells. So you have to have salt, which is a base. You got to have bananas, which is acidic potassium. If you don't have enough salt, your cells can't pump. Your heart quits. If you have too much salt, that's like trying to put 100 cars on a 2-lane road. It's going to clog it up, right? It's all about balance. That's why a lot of things say low sodium. That's why I don't use salt in my food, because most preservatives that you have that come with food have salt in it already. So I just use.
It don't taste like it.
It don't taste like it, but it's in there. So I use a lot of pepper, because pepper is a base, and I get all the salt I need naturally. Most people do, with the way we consume food these days. But another example, oatmeal. When I was a kid, we'd have oatmeal, sugar and butter, just lathered all over it.
It's
Now-
nasty.
Oh no, it's not.
Oatmeal's
Oh, no.
good.
So, but now, being more healthy, if I want it sweet, I put honey on it. And have something else. Instead of using sugar, I use cinnamon, which is also about 8 on the pH scale. So your body likes to stay about 7.4, just a little bit above neutral. So instead of eating a lot of acid and a lot of fats, I'll put like raw honey and cinnamon on my oatmeal. It actually tastes better than it did when I was a kid. And it's better for you. So small things like that you got to think about. Any more questions?
Seems like I could use this at home.
How?
My aunt in our downstairs part of our house, and her bathroom, we have a 4-seater hot tub, and she always was taking these strips and putting them in the water, and I couldn't ever figure out what it was. And then I was like, wait, is that for the chemicals in this thing? She's like, yeah. It's to help me know if it's on the neutral or over.
Yeah, this is what she's using. pH strips. That's a good example. If you ever go to a swimming pool, you'll see them go around, and they'll take, what they have is sometimes they have a long pH strip they'll stick down there, and they'll hold it against the bottle, and the bottle has the same as this does on it, same scale. That lets them know. Because a lot of chemicals they use in the water, chlorine and whatnot, and other chemicals they use, is very alkali, very base. So they don't want to go way up here on it, because that's where you get burns from. And if they let it get too dirty, it's going to be over here. So you're absolutely right. When you buy a hot tub kit, it comes with a test strip. And that test strip, you pull it out, and it'll say, okay, it's purple. And it'll tell you exactly what chemicals you need to put in that day to clean it and bring it back to neutral. It's all about neutral. That's a good example, though. That's a real life example.
Have you been in a pool where the water burns your eyes? Then it's off.
It's off, exactly.
I've been in a pool that literally turned my hair green.
Yep.
And it's really off.
Oh, really off. I've seen that too.
My mom wasn't too happy.
Yeah. I've seen that too. When I was a kid, a big thing for girls was frost their hair, which is use nothing but peroxide. Peroxide is way over here, hydrogen peroxide. And one of my cousins did that to her hair and went swimming, and before her head come up out of the water, it was green.
It was funny though, because
Yep.
I hadn't even done anything. It was just my natural color.
Yep, if it's too much, that's exactly right. What we use at our pool, we have a community pool, and they try to go natural with it. So what they use there is a lot of salt. At the beginning of the season, a lot of times till they get balanced, it's like you're swimming in the ocean almost. Because they don't use chlorine and all that. They got these special salt tablets. It makes it almost like ocean water. They're supposed to be safer, you know, environmentally correct. It's supposed to be safer for people. And it doesn't. It's one of those things where it's more expensive initially, but saves money over time, because they don't have to treat it as often.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool doing that. But yeah, I remember those test strips. I remember people turning their hair green when they weren't right.
See, and I didn't even realize it until my mom was like, "What happened to your hair? Like, what are you talking about?" And she takes her phone and points the camera towards me because it was an iPhone, and I was like, "Oh, that's what you're talking about." I have zero clue, Mom.
Yep. That's what happens. A lot of people that dye their hair a lot, if they go into something chlorine, it washes the dye right out, or changes the color of the dye because it interacts.
So what if you bleach it?
If you bleach it, well, you bleach not the color out. That's what my cousin did with the peroxide. But with the chemicals in there, everything that was bleached, because she had jet black hair, everything that was bleached turned a different color. Because the bleach was still in her hair after my mother did whatever it is they do to frost the hair. We went right up to the swimming pool about 2 hours after that. Everything that was bleached white the way she wanted it was green. Nice shade of green, though. I like it. Pretty green. Okay. Any more questions, comments on how we use this? Like I said, the subject, this is under, in our science, is actually under matter and chemistry. But the way you guys are going to use it in real life has to do with two things: cleaning the house and food. Especially as you get older, might develop some health issues, you can easily go back and adjust.
Talk about bleach and ammonia.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah. Bleach, one thing, bleach is really high on it. Bleach is in everyone's house. And ammonia is in most people's houses also. Like when you drink bleach, it burns. But if you're a kid and drink bleach, when you went to the hospital, what would they do? What do you think they would do? Most people think they make you throw it back up, right? So then it burns you twice. It burns you once going down, it burns you again coming back up. Even worse because this mixed all with the hydrochloric acid in your stomach. So if you come in contact with bleach in your eyes, just like we talked about earlier, with mahogany, with dilution, you wash it out with water. If somebody ingests bleach, you can have them drink like a milk of magnesia medicine, I'm sure most of you guys have had, or just drink a lot of water, but you don't want to throw it back up. That's a misconception. Everybody thinks if you drink something that's going to burn you, you need to throw it back up. That actually makes it worse. So if you go around, if you guys ever get a job in like an industrial area, they use a lot of chemicals, you can see an eye wash station. And that's distilled, purified water, pH 7. If you get any chemical in your eye, you go up, just like on the video, remember you talked about getting the acid in his eyes? Take care of it with alkali, in other words, balancing it out. That's all you do. Stick your head over it, it's got 2 nozzles on it, foot pedal, and it washes chemicals out of your eye. As fast as possible to do the least amount of damage. So yeah, I thought about bringing in bleach today, but that's too far up the scale if there's an accident happen. Even though, you know, it's not that dangerous, it can be. Because bleach can also be used in a lot of, mixed with acid is also very dangerous because it is so volatile as far as the mixture part of it goes. And ammonia is the same way. Most people don't even use ammonia anymore because of that. It's actually more harmful to your skin and everything than bleach is. That's why a lot of times you'll see our cleaning crew, they'll wear glasses, safety glasses, they'll wear gloves. A lot of people think the gloves are just so they don't come in contact with body fluids of somebody else. That's also protecting from the chemicals they use. So we talk about cleaning all being bases. But what's one of the best things you can use to clean something with? You see it all the time, it's scented.
Clorox.
Well, Clorox is a bleach. This is the last time we go over it. You buy cleaning stuff that's orange scented, lemon scented,
Lysol.
yep. That's why they put that in there. Citric acid, fresh lemon juice, is one of the best things you can use to clean with. That's why they start putting that in a lot of cleaning things. People think it's in there just to smell good, and it is, but it also helps clean. So even though most cleaning supplies, soaps, or bases, you can also use acid for that. Okay. Anything else? All right, that should do it then.
You don't